Hey freaks, we're back! Everyone's rebooting and we thought that we'd reboot too. I'm Matt.
I'm Nathan.
And I'm Sue.
And we're here to talk about Ring. Okay, so guys, we're doing the big reboot thing and everyone seems to be rebooting. And so we thought we'd go with the latest reboot, which is Ring.
It was originally a 2000 Japanese movie, and then they did the 2002 version with Naomi Watts, which I loved that one. The sequel, not so much. So I was actually looking forward to this one.
So should we go through the plot? So in this new reboot version of the Horror Movie Freaks, what we're going to be doing is it's an after show. We know that you're all coming here after you've seen the film anyway. So if you haven't, we're going to be doing a lot of spoilers. So you probably want to watch the film. Think of it as a book club that we've all watched the same thing. We're all on the same page and we're going to be discussing it. We'd love to see your comments below. So if you do have any feelings about the rings or rings, leave those comments below. The film starts with the shady guy looking rather nervous, and it turns out that he watched a video 7 days prior, which was the infamous Ring video that we all know from the first film. At that 7 days point, and all of a sudden, the video screens in the back of the headrest start turning into the infamous Ring video. Then we have some, black water or hair coming out from
sort of
the
weird black
cockpit.
liquid and bugs.
Oh, I forgot about the flies all come out of the cockpit, and followed by Samara, who is back to kill the guy, and then the plane goes down. What did you think of that opening, guys?
I didn't really get a chance to care for any of the characters, and I was still trying to figure out, hang on, is this a sequel following on from the other one, or are we doing it all over again? But no, it's the same video. I just didn't care what happened.
Yeah, it seemed kind of stupid to me, to be honest.
And so then we flash forward, I think, a few years, did you just say 2 years? Was there a screen cast for that? Okay, I missed that.
We obviously were not quite as attentive as Nathan.
I thought it was a lot longer than 2 years. So, that guy from Roseanne and The Big Bang Theory.
Johnny
Galecki.
So we flip to him, and he's found the guy's video in some sort of garage sale, and he watches the video, and all of a sudden the rain starts going backwards. And the rain going backwards,
I thought that scene was good.
It
seemed
really
kind
good,
of silly, but that sort of things just aren't quite right. Creepiness.
Yeah.
Like the fly coming up his cigarette and stuff. I know there was just things that you're just like, that
cool.
makes me uncomfortable.
I thought the fly going up the cigarette was really cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure we ever found out why the rain goes backwards. It just was a little bit creepy.
It just looks cool, all right?
It looks really good.
A reason.
We meet our two main stars of Julia and her boyfriend Holt, and they're having some moment in the bed because he is going off to college.
And then he strips off his shirt.
Yeah, and look, I didn't mind the guy. I thought he was quite good. But the girl, she just reminded me of just like a cheap knockoff Emilia Clarke. So like, Queen of Dragons. I just kept watching.
Yes, she was.
I can't stand Emilia Clarke. Sorry, but I can't stand it. But I found both of them bland as shit, to be honest. And I didn't really find either of them particularly interesting.
No. So the two leads are Matilda Lutz, who plays Julia, and the boyfriend is played by Alex Rose.
Fortunate. Well, both of them are both sort of like the not the first choice actors. It's like, all right, we can't afford these guys, so we'll just get their look alike. We would do.
Look, we really like these two, but we can't get them. So you just get people that remind people of them. That would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. All of this seems a little bit
amateur.
B grade, yeah.
I didn't think it was particularly well directed, to be honest.
It's like, this is The Ring. The Ring was quite a big film back in the day.
Yeah.
Whereas this film's like, direct to DVD. Yeah.
Although, Vincent D'Onofrio, or Forio, I think I always say his name wrong, which is why I struggle at the last bit. But the guy who played the preacher,
Yeah, he's always good.
Is it D'Onofrio? Yeah, like
yeah.
I know he's a good actor. Like he is a good actor. So I was surprised when he showed up.
He was actually one of my favorite parts.
I know.
Too good for this, Vincent.
What is your agent thinking?
But he did that J-Lo horror movie as well, so there's no accounting for taste. Julia and Holt have been continuing their long-distance relationship after Holt went to college via Skype. So they catch up every now and again via Skype for a little loving session. So she receives a call from Holt on his Skype account, but it's not him that answers the call, and it's a girl with the same warped face that we're used to seeing of someone that has watched the Ring video, and she's asking where Holt is. Julia starts getting concerned over this.
Yeah, she gets Nancy Drew on and goes and be a detective.
It is Nancy Drew. I think it's strange that she doesn't bother talking to his parents. She just takes it upon herself to rush off.
She doesn't call the police. She doesn't call the college. She just gets in her car and goes because she thinks he's cheating. She doesn't actually think he's in danger, don't you think? Because otherwise,
she's like, I'm going to catch you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Julia meets the mysterious professor who does that thing of being unconvincing, I don't know who that student is.
That was very unconvincing.
And then she goes to some weird party for people that have also watched The Ring or know about The Ring movie.
Where did she even get the invite for that, let alone find out where it was?
Yeah, I didn't really get how that happened either. I felt did I fall asleep for a little bit? Because I don't understand why she's in this room.
Yeah. I felt they could have expanded that more. They could have...
Yes, agreed.
That whole cult of The Ring, they could have expanded them. Kind of flatliners, yeah, it's a good point. They could have been much more interesting. There's so many routes that they could have gone down.
They could have gone, and especially because you remember when they showed him in that room, and up on the screen they had the names and the countdowns underneath each name, so they could see so-and-so's going to hit their 7 days at blah, blah, blah time. So could have made a thing about that, and more about the faces. They really didn't investigate those. Yes, because he said, I'll see if I can get one for you. I'll get you a tail or something. But first of all, I was thinking, why not just use the guy who just showed up and didn't get used? He's right there. You could just show him while he's standing there. But I was also thinking, what do you mean get one? How is he going about it? So you're right, that would have been a much more interesting avenue to go down.
Yeah, they had so much more potential, that whole social media thing to plug into that, and now that it's digitized, you can show it to anyone. Mm-hmm. But
Well, that's the thing. Samara's back now in digital form. She's not just stuck on VHS anymore.
4K.
You can just share her everywhere. USB, Facebook, whatever.
Julia stumbles across Sky, the girl from Skype, and she locks her in a room. Well, kind of tricks her into going into a room with her, and then locks her in there. And she tries to get her to watch the Ring video, but Julia locks herself in the bathroom, and unfortunately Samara appears and kills Sky. This is the first time that we've seen Samara in the film, in the modern age. What did we think of her in HD?
It wasn't very convincing.
No, not really. Worked much better in the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There was something not quite right.
I did like the scene where she pulled the flat screen off the wall, and flat screens are much lighter than the CRT, so she pushed herself out of the screen and
that was okay. Yeah, that was interesting. I don't know. I feel like it was to do with the direction, because there wasn't much else that was different, but for some reason it didn't build the dread. I didn't feel like, oh my God, like I did the first time I watched it. So
yeah.
And she is quite a scary character, so I don't know why I didn't have the same response.
No. She's just glitching around the place and felt like she actually wasn't even in the room with the girl.
Yes, that's true.
It's just she's just post-production. We'll
also,
whatever.
Like you said, we don't really care about that girl either, because we spent 5 minutes with her. So again, it's a character that's about to get killed that you're like, eh.
Yeah.
There's a lot of not caring.
Yeah, I know. I should do something about that.
No, they should do something about it. They really don't, try to give us a reason to actually like these people.
Well, none of them are particularly sympathetic. Even the main people are a little bit. They're not. I don't know. They just don't feel like real people. So they don't feel like someone that you feel sorry for, really.
That Sky, I did not feel sorry for her at all. She was a bitch. Like, they could have made her desperation more believable.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, if she was, like, pleading at the bathroom door, like, please, just watch the video, like,
you'll be okay,
here.
or... I think the other problem is, remember in the first one, like, with all the people that died, they had extended people in their lives who were upset that they died. Like, you knew, even the first chick, you saw her mum at her funeral crying and stuff. Like, they felt like real people with others around them, whereas no one seemed to give a shit that these people are dead.
Yeah, that's so true.
Like, even her boyfriend, the professor, gets sent a picture of her and he's just got it on his computer like it's his background. I'm like, what? Like,
I started questioning whether they were together. I'm like, did I imagine that?
I didn't.
He didn't seem to care at all.
I thought they were together, but...
So Samara kills Sky and she gives a little peekaboo to Julia through the keyhole of the toilet, which I was kind of thought that was strange. Like, I thought, like, from previous films and also from the guy who got killed on the plane, she normally does pops out, kills them, and then goes back into the ether. Like, it's weird that now she's, like, roaming around looking for other victims.
I agree. I thought the looking through the keyhole thing seemed kind of stupid, to be perfectly honest, because if she's not really real there, it's like a projection of her, right? Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much of it is her and how much of it is a projection of her, but either way, it's got one job to do while it's there. It's not going to be going, oh, while I'm here, is there anybody else? Like, it wouldn't even be focused on anything else.
I was just said that keyhole moment as well. Maybe she doesn't do that to everyone. It's just because Samara's got a strange connection with Julia, which they never really explain why.
No.
But she does it. That sort of builds on that throughout the rest of the movie.
She's a seer. Holt, Julia's boyfriend, finally turns up again and explains the whole thing that Sky and him were each other's tails. And he said that he watched the video 12 hours after Sky had, so he's got 12 hours to live unless Julia watches the video, which she ponders over until in the middle of the night she decides, hey, maybe it's a good idea to watch the video. So she watches the Ring video and saves Holt. But this marks Julia as being on death's door. She's got 7 days.
I love how he's like, I don't want you to watch it. Don't you dare watch it. But if you did, it would really save me.
Yeah.
All right, then. Yeah, he didn't want that to happen at all.
No. But Julia is marked or burnt by Samara, which normally happens days after watching the video, but she gets it early. Lucky bitch. And Holt begins to think maybe Julia has less time than the 7 days. So he goes to Gabriel and they talk over, what's happening here. Is Julia a special case? And they copy Julia's video and see that it's actually larger in size in regards to megabytes than what Holt's was. So there's extra footage there. They pull that apart and find that there's a video hidden within the original video. So Julia watches the video and it's a new high-def version of the original video. What do we think of that?
It's remixed.
It's a remix.
That annoyed the crap out of me. I have to say, the bit that annoyed me the most about that was, when he's like, watch it, tell us what you see. And she's like, there's a girl, there's a bird. Like, so descriptive.
I know.
Descriptive. Like, seriously, use your words, Lovey, because I don't understand what we're supposed to be seeing here.
Use your big girl
And then
words.
she just stops talking completely. Yeah. And they're like, Julia, hello? Like, come on. I want to know what's happening in it.
But I thought that it was good that the new video does keep it in the sort of vein of the original video. It's not as creepy though as the original one. Like, it's kind of like a PG version of the original one. There's no sort of gross bits that will stick in your head.
But I think it's because they wanted it to mean something specific. They wanted it to lead them somewhere, whereas the original existed just to be disparate, gross images.
Yeah.
So
the original, this is like the Murder, She Wrote version.
Yeah, these are the clues for you to follow.
Yeah. Which the original one, to me, it just felt dark and gritty, like an experimental art film. You didn't really get a little bit sort of unnerved and dirty for watching it.
Yeah, because you don't know what the next image is going to be, and I don't know if I want to see it, but I can't stop watching.
Yeah.
The randomness of the original videos, and that did have parts of it that did lead towards the thing, but it was way more random, and that randomness actually added to the creepiness of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good idea, but it was executed badly, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, agreed.
Maybe that's like a whole reboot sort of metaphor. It's the same but different.
Yeah, that's so true.
I thought the metaphor of the whole film was it's a good idea, but it's executed badly.
I think people are picking up on how we think about this film. So Julia, on top of watching the video, she also starts having visions of things that were in the video. So she sees a bird slam into their car that ultimately wasn't there. And so part of the video, they saw a church, which they tracked down as a particular place that they drive to, and they find that Samara was actually buried there. So they go to find Samara's grave, and what would you do? You know, go and open the grave to see whether she's there. That's a great idea. Let's go on into that.
I really press my face right against it until the blood comes out. That's what I do first.
But they find that, surprise, surprise, Samara's bones are not there. But Julia's name is etched in the grave itself. Or was it? Or was that just a vision?
No, it was there, I think. But then suddenly the grave becomes a lot bigger, and she goes down underground, and
that's right. Yeah.
It's like a roller coaster.
And then had a flashback.
Pulled into the well.
Yes, there's a well there. You've got to fit the well into it.
Yes, I've got to get a well in there. But I like, the scene where she was standing and the camera went around her and everything sort of patched itself up behind her. That was cool.
That was creative. Like that.
Yeah, that was the only bit that I went, ooh. Interesting bit of direction. I like that, but that was pretty much it.
Julia and Holt meet the lovely guy, blind guy, Vincent D'Onofrio, who is a mysterious guy who's blind, and had also previously had visions of Samara, which was the actual reason why he went blind. And the blind man warns them to give up and to go home. But Julia has had visions of a pregnant woman who also appeared in the video, and Gabrielle discovers that marks on Julia's hand is actually Braille. So,
I actually quite like that. The Braille bit is kind of cool.
So,
yeah.
As a coincidence, Julia and Holt stumble upon the wreck of Gabrielle's car. And
in the nick of time.
In the nick of time.
Oh my God, he's still alive. He can still gurgle out some sort of plot clue.
It's audible, yeah.
Right before he really dies.
There's some force that has other plans, and a power pole crashes on top of Gabrielle's car.
Yeah, where did that come from? Stuff like that doesn't really happen in the Ring stuff.
No.
Okay.
No, but you know where it does happen? In Final Destination. That's the other ones that go like, well, hang on, I'm watching a different movie now.
This is everything.
What will get him?
The power line falls on Gabriel's car and electrocutes him, and he dies.
Is it going to be fire? Electrocution? It's electrocution for the win.
Oh my God! It's a great plot point. So Holt speaks to a local woman who turns out to be the pregnant woman's auntie, and she explains that her niece Evelyn disappeared 30 years ago. She also tells him that the priest at the church is the blind man. So Vincent D'Onofrio wasn't telling the truth, where he wasn't giving his whole story. And Julia, being the Nancy Drew that Nathan described before, goes to the abandoned church and discovers a secret room in the floor. This, we find out, is where the pregnant girl was kept, and turn after turn, she was Samara's mother.
Oh,
I know.
Full of surprises.
Just
full of surprises.
It is like a Murder, She Wrote this. It's like twist after twist. So Julia goes to the blind man's house, not knowing that he is the priest, and he figures out that he's been caught, and he tries to kill Julia, and tells her that he made himself blind to protect himself from Samara. So Samara didn't make him blind, he did it himself. Julia works out that the priest kidnapped Evelyn and raped her, and he is Samara's father. Isn't this a lovely story?
Yeah, but then I don't know, I still got a little bit confused with how she ended up where she did in the first one. But I guess I'm not. Yeah.
I was confused as well, because we find Samara's body buried under the house, which is also where the mum was kept. But Samara, after she was born, she was adopted out. So in the original movie, that was a new family. They didn't know her backstory or her history. She was just a troubled child. But then when they got rid of her and they dumped her down in the well, I thought the body was stuck down there.
The body was stuck down the well. They found it at the
end of the movie.
Yeah.
I thought this had all happened like since Naomi Watts pulled her body out of the well, and then the priest got the body and then put it in the grave in the new place, and then then the flood happened.
Yeah, but she was adopted, so it's like, all right, what's this, like a return to sender type thing? They didn't want her. So it's like, send her back where she came from, we'll put her in like a nice... It's like, no, we're not even going to leave her there. We're going to dig her up and bury her in a wall somewhere.
I know, because I was thinking, yeah, she died in the well. Naomi Watts got her out. I'm assuming some sort of government people went, unidentified child body, we will bury it in like one of the places where they bury unidentified bodies. Then how did this guy get a hold of it again?
So the priest must have been keeping an eye on her or something, and then he found
and she has
out.
the same exact name as an adopted child as she had when she was like, come on.
I was a little bit confused for a while. I was like, hang on, is this story going to end up being about Samara's mum, or is it about Samara? But
yeah.
No, a bit
it
muddy.
Didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Wouldn't he just go, oh, I'm well shot of that. It's nothing to do with me now anyway. They've pulled her out the well. I'll just carry on with my life.
Yeah, it's not mine.
Why interfere?
But no, he's like, let's bring her back and bury her. Oops, the town's got flooded. I'm going to poke my eyes out and bury her in the wall. We'll get to that.
Bad Samara.
What was I thinking?
So, we digress. After a struggle, Julia pushes the priest down some stairs. We think he's dead. Maybe he's not. It is a horror movie after all. And Julia finds Samara's bones hidden in the wall. The priest, surprise, surprise, regains consciousness and struggles with Julia. Samara comes through Julia's phone, restores her father's sight, and kills him. Wow.
What's this?
Yeah, I just didn't really understand a lot of why would they bother? Why any of that? Like, he was pretty much dead anyway.
Yeah.
Why would she bother?
How did he make himself blind? Like, his eyes came back like they were white, and then they came back. It's
like he would poke himself in the eye or something. They would be gone. He wouldn't have eyes.
I thought he wouldn't have had eyes, but anyway.
Same. It didn't really make sense how he could have possibly done that. Especially, and I also didn't really understand what her purpose was in doing the 7-day thing if she just wanted to kill her dad in the first place.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And why wouldn't she kill her while she was out? Like, oh, by the way, it's about time that you were killed too.
Yeah.
While I'm here.
I'm looking at my calendar.
7 days, bitch.
I see that, yeah.
And I was also thinking with the 7-day thing, right? Because I never pick up my phone. So what happens if you don't answer? Do they leave a message? Do you get a text? Like,
was that in the second one?
No, she turns up 7 days later to get you, and it's like, what are you doing here? It's like, I didn't get a message. It's like, no.
Well, luckily I don't answer the door either, so good luck. Yeah, I don't. And she whispers it too. What if you were somewhere really noisy? Sorry, what?
No, repeat that.
What?
7 days. 7 days.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're just gonna have to speak up.
Just call back later. I'm busy.
It'd be much more better to text in this day and age. No one listens to their voicemail.
No one would pick up, especially an unknown number. No one's picking up unknown numbers on their mobile.
Who the fuck is this?
Please. Do you know what time it is?
Nigeria.
Piss off. I'm not buying anything. Go away.
I want to see her doing a Snapchat with like a Snapchat filter on her hair.
That's how you would update it. No, maybe that should be the sequel, in that she possesses a Snapchat filter, and then if you do it on your face, suddenly you die in 7 days.
That's true. I like
it. That would be
it.
much more entertaining. So Julia and Holt do the right thing, and they cremate Samara's bones, what's left of them. While Julia is taking a shower, Holt listens to the voicemail from Gabriel, and it's telling him that the marks on Julia's hands are Braille. The marks on Julia's hands start to peel off, and she starts
that was gross.
It was so gross. She vomits out some of Samara's hair, which is very reminiscent of the first film. Holt is on the net trying to Google what the Braille means, and when he deciphers the Braille, it spells out rebirth. The video starts to get emailed out to all of Julia's address books, people in her address, and everyone starts to get the video. Julia stares into the bathroom mirror and has a vision of Samara, who says that it's never going to stop.
Yeah,
Julia, it was good to see that.
Yeah, that was interesting. But after she, for me, probably the most squeamish scene in that movie was that last one where she's forever pulling out the hair from her mouth, and then ends up with this little glubby thing at the end of it, which did it have eyes, maybe?
It had a fly.
Flies. Anyway, that was just gross. But
that was gross.
It was gross bit, but probably the most impactful scene in the whole movie.
Yeah, that was the only scene that I had to go, ooh, I'm not looking.
They need to have more flies in it, like the original, and not the CG flies like they had on the plane.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed. That was kind of silly. I don't understand why she would bother putting in Braille rebirth on her hand. What's the purpose there?
Like, what happened if Gabriel had actually told them, they worked it out for themselves, right at the beginning of the film?
She would have just ruined all her chances of actually doing that.
Dumber.
And, why would she write it in Braille anyway? She could hear and talk.
Yeah. And again, why did she even...
the blind guy?
Yeah. Well, he wasn't, he became blind. He wasn't born blind. Braille takes a long time.
Why would she even bother alerting him?
I don't know. What's the point in even telling someone, I'm going to be born again in this body?
And also, why Julia? Why did she have the connection out of everyone? Why her? We just didn't know that. She's getting the vision. She ends up turning into Samara pretty much at the end.
And what's the purpose of being reborn anyway? When she's sending out the DVD to loads of people, she's going to be a little busy for the next 7 days. I have to say.
Does that mean that if she's now in human form, can she not go back through the videos anymore?
That's what I'm thinking. Is she just sort of shat all over her own little shtick? Because now she can't do it, really.
She
now
killed
she's trapped in a human body. Yeah, they kind of did. I don't understand the purpose of that. Because at first, it was kind of, the rebirth thing is kind of ooh, creepy. And then you're like, is it though? Because if you think about it, it's kind of stupid.
Didn't make sense. A lot of things didn't make sense.
Freddy Krueger tried to do the same thing. It's why do they want to be reborn? Aren't they having a great time, in the dreamscape or in the video? What's the reborn business? Why go down that path?
And they're kind of immortal that way. The minute you get in a body, you can be killed, right? So why would you want to be in a body?
Exactly.
Stupid.
We didn't think it through very much. She probably hasn't listened well for most of her life or whatever. She hadn't seen a lot of movies. She's uneducated in that respect.
Maybe she just wanted to be reborn so that she could go out and make a better movie than this one. That's her whole ambition, is to just live life as a human.
Surely it's not to be reborn and then to be an average Joe, because that's really all that's going to happen.
True.
Or maybe the spin-off of that is that she really liked Holt and she thought, how can I get a piece of that? I know. Justin's girlfriend will be reborn. And
hey, girl.
Or maybe she wants to have more babies that are going to be evil as well.
But she's already been replicated so many times.
I know.
Right. It doesn't make it. She's already at the optimal way of killing people.
Level.
Yeah, exactly. Being reborn is superfluous.
Mm-hmm.
Well, kind of like the whole movie. The movie itself felt a bit like a copy of a copy of a copy. It had lost the original magic. It was just unnecessary.
That's the perfect
good way
analogy.
of putting it.
Like, it is so true. So yeah, it wasn't really that great. That's something I would really recommend.
You're better off just better off just watching the original again.
So, what did you think of the Ring movie, the reboot of The Ring? Did you think it was any good? Well, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear if anyone out there thought it was a great movie. And where would you go with any further sequels to this movie? Do you think it's worthy of a sequel? So, talking of reboots, as we mentioned at the beginning of the video, the Horror Movie Freaks has rebooted as well. So make sure you click subscribe and click on the little bell to get notified when we post new videos. And watch along with us. The next movie that we'll be watching is Hush. All of the videos that we're watching are based on Netflix available films, so hopefully it should be easily accessible to you all. So follow along and comment as well. Bye!
Bye!
See ya!